I disagree.
I agree.
I disagree.
I agree.
If you want others, they will come. But for now,
whatever we have in the market,
take it.
You can say that
they can come.
they will come.
Is that evidence that?
Points our way.
But whatever need we need.
No,
It is
the
not
debate
being
is it enough?
So on the first question, I think you guys had really good points. However, there's a lot of customization when it comes to...
I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have trust issues. I have major trust issues. Like, guys.
Welcome back to Wazzii Squared, the show about perspectives. Today, we're going to debate about, is there a gap in accessibility of contraceptives? And is it our responsibility or a mutual responsibility to talk about contraceptives?
Are the current options for contraception diverse enough to meet individual needs, or is there a gap in accessibility and customization?
I completely disagree. I don't think there are enough options in terms of contraceptives.
I agree. I do feel like the current options of contraception are enough to meet individual needs.
I'm on the disagreeing team. I do think that there is a gap in the accessibility of contraceptives.
I agree. The current contraception methods are diverse enough to meet individual needs. So I feel like the contraceptions that are there are effective and are meeting individual needs. There are different types of contraception that are meeting the needs of different people, right? There are hormonal contraception, there are non-hormonal contraception. So there's no big gap here. The needs are being met of the individuals. Yeah.
I think, just to echo what she said, from a while back, comparing what we had a while back ago and now, I think we've come a long way. And it is wrong to, I personally feel like it is wrong to discredit the technological advancements that have been there in promoting basically the topic on safe sex, protection, family planning, STI prevention. So I feel like we have enough and sufficient means of contraception. And yeah, we don't have to discredit that because technology will advance. Yeah. It will advance. It is not something that will stay stagnant, but let us also give credit to the fact that where we are now, we are fine.
I disagree, and I feel like as the only man in this forum, men, we don't have enough options. In the sense, it's as Kendrick said, it's not enough. Like, we need more, in the sense that the option is either you get a vasectomy or you use a condom, right? Vasectomy feels like such, these, like, if you contrast that to the options, let's say that the girls have now, and even those ones have a lot of drawbacks, right? There's many things to choose from. You get a man, either you use a condom or you get a vasectomy. And it's like, okay, I don't want to get a vasectomy. Like, maybe what if I want to have kids later, and the complications, like all those. So what am I left with? I'm left with just a condom, and I feel like that's something that nothing has gotten to market for men that helps men deal with this. And the conversation that we're having here is not about the leaps and bounds that we've made in terms of reproductive health care. No, we're saying, is it enough? Are we doing sufficient? Are we covering all bases? And the truth is there's a big gap.
I understand there are female condoms, but are they in the market that much as the male condoms? No. Are they affordable and available as opposed to the male condoms? No. That is what we have. That is available and affordable and really easy to use.
I'm going to agree with my friend here because we also have to think about the people who are not able. Let's say they go to a hospital, a person maybe having autism, and then they don't have people who are going to understand them at the hospital because anaweza pewa kitu yenye itamu affect individually, alafu they start feeling this autistic person gets this certain contraceptive and then maybe it starts bringing hormonal imbalance to them. So I feel like there is a gap that needs to be filled on that. It's not that everybody can access them. We also have to think about the male people, the male persons who are not getting it.
I'm going to stress my point again. You're not having sex by yourself, right? You're having sex to people. Yeah. So if whatever options they are for you are not working...
So my lack of options should impose on somebody else?
No, it's a two-person thing. It's a two-person thing.
We have already talked about technological advancement.
Yeah.
And there continues to be technological research around the whole topic. So I just feel like men...
Where they're technological...
trying to say we don't have options. We have this option. Please take it.
Our argument is...
If you really care.
Let's not forget our argument.
There's millions of condoms are used.
The rest, if you want others, they will come. But for now,
whatever we have is
sufficient.
working.
Take it.
The chocolate you can say they can come.
They will come.
Is that
basically
evidence that?
points
But
our
I am
way.
But
saying
whatever
currently,
need we need met is
it
being
is
met.
No,
It is
the debate
sufficient.
is it enough? We're not saying, the debate is not about are men using condoms. No, the debate is the options that are there.
Are not
Are
enough.
they enough? And the answer is no.
Our argument is the current contraception that we have are meeting a need. They are meeting a need. We can't say actually there is no need being met.
Enough is a measure in the sense of already we have acknowledged there have been leaps and bounds. There's something being done, right? The word enough in that phrase is the sense of whatever is being done, does it meet everybody's needs? Is everybody included in this? Is it inclusive? You know, have we catered to everybody's needs? And the answer is no.
Well,
not only dealing with men, because I think we've really made them men-centered, right? There's a lot of women who, I kid you not, these contraceptives are not working for them, you know. And I say that because, let me give you an example, right? Like, let's say somebody can afford to be on the pill. Let's leave the issue of accessibility. You can afford to be on whatever contraceptive that you're on, right? Okay. And your body does not necessarily agree with it in the sense of, I've had personal experience with former partners where you're like, man, this thing is really making me gain weight, you know? And it's like, okay, I tried this non-hormonal method and actually it was not just it. I know it's uncomfortable, I just don't want that. And by the way, they have a choice. They can get to decide. For me, this topic is very, very triggering because I don't know how to put this in a nice way, but we live in a time where you can't trust people. And I'm like, do you know that dudes who take contraceptives seriously? Because I'm just like, you think I want to reproduce with you? I want to have kids. Like, I'm like, I want options. I want to have options other than just a rubber. You know, it cannot just be vibes and inshallah. And vasectomy, of course, it's too far. Like, I'm just like, we exist. People who care about contraceptives, people who care about protecting themselves, we exist, we're here, okay?
Let me use your car analogy, right? Mm-hmm. If you've bought a car and there are safety measures for a car, right? There's traffic police, there's a safety belt, there's an airbag, there's this and this and this that is supposed to keep you safe on the road. But you feel like it's not enough, leave the car alone. Just, as you said, just walk. That's also, you're still protecting yourself by not getting into a car accident and not driving that car because you're not satisfied with the methods that are there to keep you safe. That's why I'm choosing to stand on business by saying there is no gap. When we look at it, the truth of the matter is there are methods that are in place that people are using. So I don't know what the other team is trying to tell us, but I am standing on business and defending our points so clearly. And I think we're cooking them, to be honest. Yeah.
The responsibility of using contraceptives be equally shared between men and women, or does biology dictate otherwise?
I agree on the discussion of contraceptive to be mutual.
I disagree. The responsibility of contraceptives ought to be one person's decision.
I agree. Contraception should be a mutual discussion between partners.
I disagree. I strongly feel that contraception should be an individual's responsibility.
In this topic, we are of the notion that sexual relationships and contraceptives are a mutual discussion that should be had because my stance is there are two people who are involved in this. You can say, I'm taking this action or using this contraceptive on my own without letting my partner know because I'm not sure what they are comfortable with. It should be a communication that we have between the two of us. It should be a conversation that we sit down and we're like, oh, we're engaging in sexual activities. What methods can we use to prevent ourselves from getting sick or getting an unwanted pregnancy?
To add on to that, I'd like to say in this time that these people are talking about this contraception, we have to talk about communication. Their communication gets much better because they're getting to learn contraceptives are working on you and how they're going to affect me into it also. We have to think about the respect that we're giving each partner because it has taken that knowledgeability to take that responsibility to aware you that I'm using this contraceptive. I have actually had a personal experience where we had to talk about it together before we end up doing this because alikuwa anataka I get something that's permanent like an IUD so that he is also getting safe so that he doesn't end up getting me pregnant, but then I also have to think about myself. So I told him I do not want that because there are reasons, they bring side effects and I do not want that. So I chose to break off the relationship because it wasn't serving me right.
In the context of I'm engaging in sex, right? I get to choose whether or not I'm going to wear a condom because it's my personal responsibility to protect myself, because at the end of the day, I'll pay for my own healthcare bills if something goes wrong. You get? If I have a child, I'm responsible for that child in whatever way, like as a dude, and I feel like it's not fair to take away that choice from me, in the sense of, fine, like the condom flavor that I use does not work for you. Okay, let's talk about adjusting that choice that I've made in terms of to facilitate you.
But making a choice is a little bit different from taking initiative and responsibility. Like, yes, we can converse about it.
Exactly.
But do I understand where you are coming from? And am I willing to take responsibility?
Exactly.
You're kind of proving my point, because now at this point, I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, I want to take a contraception, right? I want to make sure I am protected against unwanted pregnancies or whatever I want, whatever my need is, right? And I have a partner that I am either in a relationship with or having a sexual relationship. It doesn't even have to be like a marriage or dating situation. I'm having sex with this person, right? And I'm like, I don't want to do this because it's a hormonal contraceptive. I want to do an unhormonal one. And then I'm talking to my partner about it. This is 60% effective. And he's like, no, I don't want you to use something that is 60% effective. I want us to use something that is 90. This should be a conversation, because if anything happens and you have decided, I want to use this because it's good for my body, but the effective rate is kidogo, and you're putting this guy at a risk of getting pregnant as well, because this guy when you get pregnant, you're pregnant together. Like it is your baby, both of you. Right? It's a shared responsibility. This baby has like two people who made them, right? So now this person should also be involved in that conversation. As much as it's your body and you're the one who's gonna probably carry the pregnancy and all that, this other person has a responsibility. So go and Atege are trying to tell us that it's an individual thing when we're talking about contraception, which it's really not. Like, me and my partner need to sit down and talk about these things because we are having a sexual relationship. And I don't know if we're getting to a middle ground with this one. I don't think we are. I feel like the first one we did kind of get into a middle ground, but here we're just not agreeing. And it's fine because everyone has a different perspective.
What I think we're not understanding is, yes, we can talk about it. But at the end of the day, when we go back to the drawing board,
the action tied down to what kind of, you can talk about the decision,
individual.
but the person who it's on to make that decision, that's yours. Yeah. You cannot make those decisions as a collective. You as a person with HIV, you cannot sit down with another person, like with your partner, and like be reckless like that about your own health. It's like, okay, listen. I don't know how much you value your own health. I don't know how much you prioritize your own health. Because at the end of the day, manze, ni mimi na mwili yangu. You get what I mean? And you know what? I've informed you. It's like this. Exactly. I've informed you. This is my situation. That's my status. And I can even inform you what I use. I have informed you. But I have taken personal responsibility. I am taking my ARVs. In terms of when we have sex, I don't want to spread it really by there because that is a crime in itself.
Cool.
So you get, are you understanding what I mean in the sense of those discussions, especially what you're talking about, they lie in terms of talking about the kind of contraceptive somebody has already decided to take.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have trust issues. I have major trust issues. Like, guys, like, so you're like, so I'm supposed to trust you, like you're supposed to do the right thing. What do you mean? Like, these people will make you a dad without you choosing. Like, don't play those games with your life. Like, yeah.
But I can flip that. We can flip that and say, you said that you're taking care of yourself. So you decided to do your own thing. Sawa, sindio. But we're not talking about it together. So when you get pregnant, Yonishida, because you said you're taking care of yourself.
You said you're the one
That's your problem.
The consequence of your responsibility. You have to take back.
I think at the end of the day, every action has a reaction or a consequence. I can be on the IUD and we have sex and I still get pregnant. No, you want to tell me, because now you didn't wear a condom, I'm telling you, hey babe, I have this and this and this. You'll just brush me off, bro. You said you were on the IUD, that thing is effective and it works. No. It should and must be an individual initiative to take. I swear the whole time we are talking about individual responsibility, I definitely do get where the mutual responsibility is coming from. But at the end of the day, I think still it is your individual initiative and responsibility to care for your health, because you are the one who knows what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what hurts you physically, mentally, and what does not.
But that said, it's important that we acknowledge, right? The more we discuss, the more you get to see that there is room for more conversation. You get responsibility should be yours.
Yeah.
But I think before you make that decision, talk about it. But it's a decision that it's informed in the sense of, as you sit down with your partner, okay, fine. This, you get to understand where they're coming from, where you're coming from, that discussion is important.
Because I'm not having sex alone.
What works for them, what works for you.
I still maintain that the responsibility should be personally yours. But I am seeing the point that it is important also to have
that
some form of discussion.
Yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Natasha and I'm here to give perspective. So on the first question, I think you guys had really good points. However, there's a lot of customization when it comes to contraceptives. So for women, there's hormonal and there's non-hormonal, right? So if you react to hormonal contraceptives, then you have the option of non-hormonal, which have less side effects than hormonal contraceptives, yeah? And obviously for men, there's you have a vasectomy. But we need to also take into account that the options are kind of limited on that side. And obviously we need to do better, but that still does not absolve men from the responsibility of taking that option, because there are free vasectomies that are usually given by health clinics. Yeah. But do you know about that?
I'm learning about that right now.
But there are actually free vasectomies that are given, but also I think it's an issue of awareness as well, because even when it comes to all the different kinds of contraceptives that there are for women, right? Not every woman has been educated enough or is aware enough of all the different types that are there. Most women just know about like the IUDs, and then obviously there's the condoms, and then the pills and the emergency pills, which the emergency pill is not even that safe, right? Then there's also a vaginal ring as well, and then you can also tie your tubes, right? So there are other options that you can take that may even be safer than the ones that you know of. So I think it's also an issue of awareness.
I agree. Because there's a lot I didn't know. I didn't know about the free vasectomies. And this, I feel like this conversation is what promotes people getting to know. By the way, we do have options. They exist. All you have to do is seek them out.
Let me do my research. Let me do my research because it's something I'm engaging in.
It's what I want.
Yes, doing your research is extremely important.
Yeah.
So on the second question, I do think it's very important for us to encourage mutual responsibility, right? I get it, yes, it is your individual responsibility, but we need to encourage healthy partnerships where both partners are able to talk about contraceptive methods, right? So for example, let's say every single type of contraceptives that are available within my environment around me have not worked for me. So we'll have that conversation, and then for him, he can go and maybe get a vasectomy, because at the end of the day, we do not want to get pregnant, right? That's a conversation we should be having, and it's what we should be encouraging. However, yes, it is also your individual responsibility, because that is also an ideal situation. And that's why I was saying it's something we should be encouraging, because that's not always the situation, right? Because people lie, like you said, there are marriages where STI rates are high, Like you're infecting someone, but you guys are supposed to be monogamous. Make it make sense, right? So it's also very important for you to take care of yourself. Do what works for you. And when you get to that point where you're with someone and you feel like you need to have that conversation, have it, right? But also do not make someone influence you when it comes to making your decision. So if you do not want to get pregnant, but your partner wants a baby, and you're like, I want that implant inside of me for 10 years, I'm not going to remove it. And if you're not okay with that, you also have the agency to leave the relationship, because that also equals incompatibility, right? So that's what I have to say. I think you guys had really good points. And I hope you see perspective.
Most definitely.
For sure.
If you're enjoying this conversation, make sure you visit our YouTube channel and make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Plus, if you want to know more about SRH, make sure you visit wazzii.ke.
Bye.